Acebeam has a new dual-purpose tactical weapon light that can also double as an EDC with the new P15. It's designed to easily transition between the two uses and features a number of optimizations to work with both uses. It's available in 4 colors with a variety of accessories too. Thanks to Acebeam for sending this to me to take a look at and review. And if you don't already know, I have lots of social media web pages, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. So make sure you're following me there, and the link is in the description below. Let's quickly look at the packaging that comes along with the light here. It's a nice magnetic closure box here. You get your color options on the side here, black, orange, green, and dark green. I've got the dark green with me today. Not much information is inside here. You do get, as far as accessories, you do get this Allen key, you get a couple extra O-rings, and you get the lanyard. You also get the charging cable here, and this is a little bit unique, USB-A, and then you've got the proprietary pogo pin in for charging on the light itself. I've also got a battery in here that came with the light. It's a 3100 milliamp hour Acebeam battery, and I will talk about that more later on in the review. Let's talk about the design elements of the P15 here. Construction-wise, it feels really nice in the hands, and you can see that it's really nicely anodized. The color here is my favorite thing about this light. I love this dark green. They've also got it in black, orange, a brighter green, and then they've got some special edition white models that they've announced. Starting at the tail cap here, we see this switch here. It's nicely sitting flat, so the light does tail stand without an issue. This is a little hard to press in with gloves on, but because it's the whole top or most of the top, you can still do it fairly easily. You've got this mechanical ring here that locks the over this charging port here. That's for accessories and charging, and I'll talk about more of that in a minute here, but it is nicely laser engraved with the markings here. This light has quite a few markings, really something from every angle. You've got this here that shows you can charge. It's for accessories as well. You've got quite a few markings on the tail here, your standard flashlight markings. You've got your model name, number, serial number, all that stuff. At the front here, at the side, you've got your hot. I'd like if these were all lined up. I think that hot should be over here. My head is tight, so that's not the issue there. So it just clean up the light, make it look a little bit better in my opinion. The potty tube here is smooth, except for these rings on there. They fit nicely in my hand and give me a little bit of extra grip. They're also for style. The head itself here, really not much about it. Minimal styling, minimal heat sinking. It's fine, no problems there. At the head, you've got a crenulated bezel. It's also aluminum, I believe. Might be stainless steel that's PVD coated. It does allow a little bit of light to leak out of the light when you have it turned on. We'll turn it on bright there and you can kind of see it. It is a double anti-reflective coated glass lens in there with a smooth reflector. And if you're wondering what this little base is, I've just made it to hold the light when I've got it with my 3D printer. So kind of neat here. It needs a few revisions. Let's talk about retention next, and it's one of the big differences of this light. It's dual purpose design, with the ethos being a weapon mounted light that can quickly convert to EDC. And starting with the EDC side, here's the pocket clip. You can see it's quite large. It connects to the scout mount that is on here for the weapons side. So as a result of that, it sticks up quite a bit. Doesn't carry very deep in my opinion. The other side of that is it's super stout. Some people have problems with ripping pocket clips and getting caught in things. I think this one will get caught for some people, but it's probably not going to rip off. It's pretty stout. At the top here, you've got a place for your lanyard, which is included, or you can attach it down here. I think because of that pocket clip, this is going to fit better on a bag or jacket or vest or something like that. For me, in a pocket, you can see in my pictures here, it works, but it's not how I'm going to carry the light on a daily fashion, at least in my settings, but you probably could if you wanted to. To convert this thing to a weapon light, you can just remove these 2 screws. You've got your scout mount underneath there. It's got 2 screws that holds that onto the body of the light, so you could undo everything if you wanted it to be completely naked, but that scout mount allows you to mount it onto anything, any mount system that you're using. There's lots of third parties that have these. If you buy the tactical version of this light, you will get the mounts included with it, but this is more the EDC version, so it did not come with those. That tactical version also comes with a pressure switch, and Acebeam also sells a button, which I'll insert a picture of, that you can attach on the end here and kind of have instant strobe. It's kind of a neat idea. I don't know how well it works since I don't have one, but it's kind of a neat idea. It makes the light a little bulkier though. So I measured the length at 129.7 millimeters, maximum diameter at the tail. Near the charging area is 34.5 millimeters. Minimum diameter on the body is 21.7 millimeters. With the battery battery, and clip install, the light comes in at 5.26 ounces or 149.2 grams. And this one is IPX8 water rated. For size comparison, since I know you guys like me to do that, here is an Olight Odin. This is a 21700 light. This is 18650. You can see the Olight's a little bit longer, a little bit fatter in diameter, but similar overall kind of design characteristics for a weapon light slash EDC. Let's talk about the LED being used here. It is a Luminous SFT40 high in advertised 6500 Kelvin tint with advertised maximum lumens of 1700 lumens, resulting in 330 meters of throw. On my unscientific opal meter, I recorded 6000 Kelvin in turbo with an RA or CRI value of about 65 and no measurable flicker. The beam here is what you expect from a flat top LED with a really throwy intent and purpose. You can see in the high mirror, I guess this is medium mode, so not that many lumens. It won't blow out the camera. It's got a great hot spot and not a ton of flood. But this has more flood than what the Odin has, and we'll see that in my night shots. The crenulated bezel edges are pretty nice here. It does allow a little bit of light to leak, which most people will like here. Official outputs are turbo at 1700 lumens, candela on that is 27,225. On high, you've got 600 lumens, so quite a big drop down. Medium, 200 lumens, low of 45, and ultra low of 2. Okay, here are my night shots for the Acebeam P15. I've got it here in low mode. This is 45 lumens. It does have an ultra low, which is 2 lumens, but that won't really show up on camera very well, so we'll just forget about that for the moment. At 45 lumens, it shows on my fence pretty well, but doesn't reach the neighbor's fence. Bumping up next to medium at 200 lumens. This shows the beam nicely. It's fairly focused, pretty decent spill here. Not a whole lot of spill, but just a little bit. Here is high, 600 lumens, not a huge difference, but you can see this is mainly a spotlight, and given that it's a combo weapon slash EDC, that makes sense. We can see it covers the neighbor's fence fine. It does reach the trees, which you might have a hard time seeing on camera, but I can see in person. Here is turbo, 1700 lumens. This is running that Luminous SFT40 LED, about 6000 Kelvin or so tint. This is a bigger, broader beam than some of the other lights of this style, and that makes sense given the hybrid role here. It's not as spotty as some dedicated weapon lights, more general purpose, but still fairly spotty. So this is the Olight Odin. The Odin is a purpose-built weapon light, not EDC. You can see it's got a similar style beam. It is 2000 lumens, but really for all intents and purposes, it's the same. You can see it's a little bit more neutral tint though, which I like compared to the Acebeam P15 here. Very, very similar output and beam profile, but it is that cooler white tint. So both very, very comparable lights in terms of beam and output. So talking about heat and runtime here, the P15, turbo lasts for 2 minutes before stepping down to about 40% relative output. It can then continue on like this for 2 more hours till it takes a sharp decline for a total runtime of 2 hours, 18 minutes. During this peak time, temp was 50 C, which is pretty controlled. It also ran in medium mode output, and that was very stable for 2 hours and 50 minutes, and then declined and shuts off for a total of 3 hours and 12. So turbo to medium, just continuous, you get about an hour extra runtime in medium. UI here is super simple on this version without any of the accessories. From off, you long press to turn on the Firefly. This is that 2 lumen mode, so you can see it in the camera just fine. Poke again to shut off. Comes on again. It's remembering the mode I was last in. So there was low, there is medium, 200 lumens, high of 600. You press and hold and it cycles through modes, much like a lot of other brands of flashlight. Double press to go to turbo, triple press to go to strobe. You cannot mechanically lock out this light since the threads here are unanodized. I should note there are springs on both sides here of the light so that it absorbs recoil. But due to those unanodized threads here, you cannot mechanically lock out the light. There is electronic lockout if you want, and you'll check at the manual to know how to do that. This rear battery terminal here can also be used for accessories. You've got your remote pressure switch there, quick function switch to go to strobe. I don't have those, so I can't really comment on how they work. So let's talk about the battery in the Acebeam P15. It's a 3100 milliamp hour 18650 that's dual polarity on one end with the plastic separator ring. We've seen this design from other manufacturers with this type of cell. Olight, ThruNight's used some, etc. I think Acebeam's doing it here to facilitate charging and accessories without making a dual tube light. The bad news is that battery is semi-proprietary. I did want to talk about charging here. That is this proprietary charging cable here with this port. I've got it plugged into a power bank right now, and you just kind of slide it on there. Remember, you can turn this to lock it if you want, so you can't pull this out. That's more, I think, for the pressure switch, but kind of nice for the charging side too. You do have an LED indicator here on the side that tells you your charge rate. You can probably see mine is green right now. It is red when charging and green when charged. That's a nice thing. Charging took 2 hours and 27 minutes to charge from low voltage protection at 2.945 volts to full at 4.215. So right where Acebeam claims as far as speed. And the fastest charging rate I saw during that time was 1.4 amps. So it's pretty conservative. And the light does not turn on when charging, which is a little bit disappointing to see. So my final thoughts. I like the Acebeam P15 EDC Tactical and the concept that Acebeam was trying to achieve with it. I like that they brought out multiple colors all at the beginning instead of dabbling them out over a number of months. The light also does make concessions in its design to do both tasks. Mainly that pocket clip for me in the EDC roll isn't deep enough, but it's very, very robust. For me, that means it's going to be more of a jacket light or something that goes onto a bag or a vest, and that's okay. As a weapon light, I think this would do pretty well. They seem to have most things thought out, and it's probably a little bit better as weapon light than an EDC in my opinion. This is the first light that I've tried with that Luminous SFT40 high LED. It's pretty great for being cool white without any major tint shifts or lower outputs, and it creates a nice tight beam to throw well for its size. Hopefully we see this in future lights to come from other manufacturers as well. Hopefully more of a neutral white and maybe even a high CRI option if they offer that. I didn't look that one up. There are numerous accessories that go with this light, and that's pretty nice too. Something for everyone aimed at both the tactical side if you wish, or the P15 Defender kit that I have here that is more the EDC side, but you still have the ability to mount it onto a weapon if you wish, but you'll just have to bring your own weapon mount. With the P15, the choice is up to you, and I can recommend it with reservations if you're using it solely for EDC tasks. So let me know what you think, guys, of the Acebeam P15. Do you have one? Do you want one? If you have one, let me know what you think. As always, I'll remind you to check the description below if you wish to pick up one of these. I'll have links, and sometimes I do, and sometimes your support does help me with the channel a bit. If I have any coupons or discounts or anything, they'll be in the description and that first comment below. And as always, thanks for watching my videos, and I hope to see you on the next one.